Yep, that's two SNK games in the same episode with SAR Search and Rescue. This was free DLC in the SNK 40th Anniversary Collection, and yet another game I'd never even heard of before playing it. The story goes that a Pioneer spaceship has vanished and an investigation has resulted in finding the ship's wreckage. Two unnamed members of the search and rescue team are sent to investigate the cause of the crash. And because this was a one-player playthrough, the second guy must have got eaten off screen or something because he's not there and there's all kinds of zombies and aliens hanging about. The game's a top-down shooter where I can move and shoot in 8 directions. Within seconds I pick up a flamethrower power-up for my gun, and then followed by homing rockets. To start with, the first load of enemies are zombies, presumably the dead crew of this ship. Heading further up the screen as what I think are spiders to the enemy list, and the giant tumour masses that spawn them. At the end of the screen are the remains of some of the crew, and the door into section 1-1. There are 2 giant mechs with big guns in this room. First the heads get blown off, and then the rest of them. Once they're gone, I go through the door into another similar room. I get a couple new enemies in here, crawling zombies with no legs and yellowish green xenomorphs. Their death animations are spectacularly gory for 1990. I go through the next door and this room's floor is just caked in blood. Moving further up are drones mounted on rails moving sideways along the screen. There's quite a few of them, so it's safer to hang back and blow them all up first rather than try to squeeze past. I should point out at this point that one hit causes a death and you have 3 lives to a credit. However, you get to keep your power-up weapons on death, only losing them on a new credit. There's a very long stretch going north with many zombies before I start finding more bodies and the door to the next room. This room has giant green slime puddles that transform into giant dicks to squirt out these white things that swim across the floor to try and make contact with me. I go left and enter a door as I kill one, getting to see all 3 eyes exploding out as the animation is paused. I keep moving left as giant robot hands come out of holes in the walls and try to punch me. I go through another door into section 1-2 and get swarmed by most enemies so far at once, including the first xenomorphs that stand on just 2 legs. These ones also get the chance to spit their acid at me. I pick up a machine gun here. It's not my first time picking one up, but it is the first time holding onto it long enough to be worth bringing it up. Going all the way north, I'm dodging a barrage of hands before I enter section 1-3. This section contains the level boss, Chagaman. It's a big walking machine with 6 legs. Its main attack is to fire 2 homing missiles at once. So I spend a while walking out of the way of them, getting in every shot I can until it explodes into several smaller versions of itself. I don't actually have to fight these though, as I go through the door in the north to finish the level. Section 2 now, and right away this room has giant chunks that just crumble and fall away into the abyss. So I just keep zigzagging up the screen dealing with zombies and mechs as more and more of the floor just disappears. My next new enemy are these groups of floating orbs travelling together all snake-like. Past them is the door into a lift. While it's moving, I just have to stay this cramped space and survive all the enemies crawling up after me. Once I reach the bottom and enter the next room, I get to see the birth of one of the xenomorphs as one of the spiders grows into a giant cocoon that bursts open. I'm forced to go north, but there's a massive hole in this walkway. I'm ashamed to say I never legitimately crossed it and just game over in the right spot to spawn on the other end. From there I go through the next door and I'm immediately blinded. Bright green enemies on an entirely bright green room. I just ignore them and walk past to the door. It leads to another room that has me zigzagging while most of the floor perishes. It goes pretty smoothly until the very last enemy by the door kills me. It's followed by another smaller room that leads into one with the xenomorph cocoons moving on their own. They even keep the acid spit. I go through a door on my left. This next room has me going north again. I find another new enemy here, a flying drone that doesn't really do much other than follow me. I get the choice of going left or right, but I don't think it matters as once I go north the paths reconnect anyway. This is followed by more zigzagging catwalks with arms and hands coming for me. I then go through the door at the end to reach the boss. This time it's the Chonma G tank. It's small and blue with a flamethrower. It's also backed up by a load of orbs. All it can do is move and fire, but thanks to the orbs it still takes a while to bring down. But I manage it and go through the door at the end to start the next level. Section 3, and it looks like we've entered some kind of lab as there are huge test tubes everywhere. Some of them will have the legless crawling zombies break out. I get another new enemy here as well, little blue machines that roll towards me but don't get to do anything. I go all the way north and through the next door. It's a small one with 2 mechs, but when one kills me, I get spawned right into the next door. It's another small room with a mech and multiple demoted section 2 bosses, but these ones die very quickly. Through the next door and I'm heading north again, taking on more of them. Instead of flamethrowers, these ones fire single large bullets towards me. Hands and orbs also join in, and before the door are 3 more mechs. The next room suddenly has the floors and the walls looking a bit more organic as I go right and through the next door. Then comes another door with hands coming through the windows. The next room has me going north again, and once again the floor and walls are almost completely covered in alien goo. I keep going north until I can go left into another room with the slime enemies, but I walk back out and get going north again. Through the next door is another lift going down. Same enemies as the first one. It leads into another room with test tubes. All the way north and through another door to another room covered in alien goo. North once more and through another door for the third boss, Devil Snake. It has two heads that both spit acid and it travels between the three holes in the floor. It can only be damaged from being shot in the head. It's the toughest one so far as it moves fast, takes up a lot of space, and I'm constantly too busy avoiding acid spit to shoot. But after enough shots, one of the heads is destroyed, making it easier to manage. It's not long before the second head is destroyed as well and I can move on to the next section. Section 4 is the game's final level. Now the place is pretty much all organic with glowy purple alien bits making up just about the entire structure. Except for the doors, they stay pure. It leads into a small room with a mech and many orbs, and once again a death puts me right in front of the next door. This next room is also small, having to go left while fighting cocoons spewing out spiders. The next room has me going north again and it's filled with slimes and xenomorphs. I get a bit stuck at one point trying to run through this wall as the little green thing made me think it was important. It's just part of the background. Once I learn to go right around it, the room continues for another long stretch north until I reach the door. This room has me going right a bit and through another. This room has a bright purple floor and many holes in it. This room throws most of the enemies in the game at me as I just keep trucking north and through the next door. This room looks very similar to the Devil Snake's room and it even has floating Devil Snake heads coming out of the holes in the ground. They can't acid spit, just try to bite me. Then it's north some more to meet the final boss, the Big Germ. It's a big xenomorph bathing in a pool of either blood or lava. It just stays still in the back, relaxing and spitting exploding fireballs at me. He also shoots off all three claws and one hand in separate directions before drawing them back, so I usually have 4 projectiles to avoid at once while shooting him in the mouth. After enough damage, his skin melts and exposes some of his skeleton. This also destroys his hands, so the claw projectiles are gone, leaving just the fireball. Not long after, he's done, and to finish the game I just have one more door to go through. The player 2 guy is through it, so it looks like he didn't die, he just couldn't be asked to help. I go up to the controls and set the ship to drop itself into this cavern to take any trace of the aliens down with it. The two then fly off, reporting to headquarters what happened. But they destroy the report to stop the incident becoming known. Even if it happens again, it will not be reported. I enjoyed this game. It was fun and had a cool atmosphere. The enemy design was especially great and size-fine to make them blow apart the way they do. As I write this, the final placement hasn't been decided yet, but it'll probably be in the 80s or 90s. It's one of those cases where I like it, but there's just so many more games I like more.